Hi, Bob and Nancy. Hey, I wanted to take a moment to show you the process I go through to make the fun cards. Something similar to what I sent to you recently. So here is something close to the finished product. And it has 3 different colors and it's printed on these gel plates. So hey, here we go. So what you do is you need the background. You start with what you want to show through, which is the red. And so I've been practicing with different colors of reds. I usually like to do 2 at a time. So I take various different shades that I've played around with that I think go well. And one can always use with a little shimmer. So I have a tube of mica paint that provides just a dot. And then what happens after that is you brayer the paint onto the plate. And what you're looking for is just a kind of a mottled mess, just how could that hair get in there? See, I'm shedding too. Anyway, you get your paint onto the plate, and what I'll do next is I will take a piece of specialty paper. It's a certain kind of rice paper that's very absorbent and strong, and I will make the background using these colors. So that's what I'm doing now. I live in a very dry climate, so I'm going to have to work pretty quickly, because if you let the paint dry on the plate, then it will stick. And we don't want that. Oh well, what the heck here. And then these provide the background for the red heart. So there's one. I just set that aside. And here's another one. And I set that aside. I think this one turned out really pretty. It's got pinks and reds and burgundies kind of streaked through. And then the next thing I like to do, which provides the gold and the bronze, I'm going to do just one of these. Do a little bit of a darker gold. Getting to the end of this bottle. Dang it. And then again, it's brayered onto the plate. I have a bit much. I'll just put some of that on here. And then the next thing, which is really fun, is the process I get where I get to use stencils that I have designed myself and cut out on my cutting machine. So, where is it? Here it is. So it looks pretty much like this. So I will lay this down, and then I take a piece of scratch paper. I've used this before. And then what you want to do is pick up the paint that's under the stencil and leave that kind of open. And so that's what I'm doing now. Rub, rub, rub. Try to get that up out of there. And again, you have to work pretty fast. What I've noticed about these frosted colors is that they sometimes don't like to come up. Sometimes you can end up with a really interesting design on the paper that you put as your pickup sheet. And then you peel this stencil off and you're left with a print, and I'm going to let that dry a little bit. I'll help it along with my spaloosher. Looks like a giant ear thingy, doesn't it? But it's actually used for alcohol inks. I have some, but I haven't really played with them. This is one of those pat your head and rub your belly things. It's kind of awkward to do these at the same time. Well, my attempt to clean off that plate didn't go well, but that's just for fun anyway. Now the next thing, and this is where the magic happens, I'm going to take the blues. If you look at this, you'll see the gold, the bronze, and then there's blue peeking through there. So I have two shades, anthraquinone blue and phthalo blue green shade. This company names their paints according to the name of the pigment. And when I was first starting out with all of this, I couldn't believe how strange the names of the paints were until I realized that they do that so that you know what the properties of the pigment are and how they react to whatever application you're doing. I'm not that sophisticated in my knowledge of these things. So I just kind of learned what my favorite colors were, and I learned their names. Took a lot of practice. Practice, oh my gosh, what's practicing? How could I practice anything? So what's interesting is that here you see the blue, right? Now I'm going to put down my mask. And a mask is different than a stencil. A stencil, the pattern comes from the holes, like what we just did. But the mask, this is the design that you see. And I will grab one of the red sheets, and I'm going to grab the one that I liked the most, that had the pretty streaks. Attempt to place it onto the plate about how I had done it before. And then you burnish. Burnish, burnish, rub, rub, in hopes that you will pull off all of the paint. So right now we have the layer of red that's on the paper, and then we have the gold on the bottom, the gold bronze color, and the blue on top of that. And I have a mask that has some intricate holes in it. Getting this crisp of an image around the heart, that is hard to do. I have so many fails on that. I wonder if I can find one. This is one that, it's not necessarily a fail, it's just different. I did the blue on the bottom and the gold on the top, and then I didn't get a clear image around the heart, but that also adds to how rustic it looks. So you can get some really fun effects. So let's see, pray, 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 the big reveal, and here we go. I love it. There it is. So that's how the face of the cards are made. And it looks pretty darn close to the one that I used as my sample. So I feel really good about that. And then another really exciting thing that you get to do is you can take what's called a ghost print, and you peel up your mask. And then I have this beautiful blue color. And I think I'm going to pull this color with copper. I have a beautiful iridescent copper, and I'm going to make sure that paint is dry. And then I'll lay down the copper, and I'll pull a whole completely different print, an additional one, And again, it's what they call a ghost print because it's the image that's left behind on your gel plate. So let's see what we get. I really splooshed on that. These brayers are really fun. What you're not seeing, I don't know how, well, yes, I do. I can see a little bit. These sheets are brayer roll-off sheets because if you have too much paint, then your brayer will slide and you get a really sloppy image, and you get a feel for how much paint. Like, this is just about perfect. And now I will take a piece of paper and we will give it a shot. I have to give the paint time to let the blue image soak into the layer of paint I just put down. And this paper is pretty thin. Like I said, it's thin and strong. And you can get a feel for when you think it's ready. And here we go. So there's a whole nother look. A copper heart, a copper background with a blue heart. So there it is. This is how I've spent some of my time. I've made so many different really fun cards and pictures and things I've put in my home, and different masks and stencils. I did a mermaid tail for a friend. I did a peace sign, which was really fun. I've done flowers and different swirls. It's just a gas. And so there is one of the hobbies that keeps me busy, and it is so fun to share it with you guys, even if you're not with me. I love you. Bye.